Did you know that wet-dry vacuums have finally reached a point that they can mop your floors and then dry themselves? So then the question is, how easy is it to use the MOVA at home? So this is going to be the MOVA's handle right here, and here is where you're going to see its body, and then you just put it down, and you'll notice that it's going to have a long slender tube, and then you can get this all the way down, so you can get this just all the way down to the floor here. The MOVA M10 can lie completely flat on the floor, and because it self-propels itself, you can just control it using your finger. So I'll show you what I mean. To turn it on, and see my finger? I'm just pushing, and it's that finger touch. Just using one finger.
Smart mode. Ultra mode.
Ultra mode.
Suction mode.
Suction mode.
Smart mode.
Smart mode.
Ultra mode.
Ultra mode.
Suction mode.
So the MOVA is actually giving you 90 degrees of swivel flexibility here so that it can swivel 90 degrees. But at the same time, you have to remember it also comes with wheels on the top of the body and on the bottom of the base. So when you make this go flat, and it's easier to go flat than other units in our opinion, you notice that it's really simple to use. And because of the location of the display on the top of the handle, it's easier to control in my opinion than some of its competition. And you're going to get all the information, like if there's dirt on the floor, visually displayed to you when you have this underneath your cabinets or you have this underneath your bed. Currently, if you want to remove the clean water tank, there is a button here. Just want to pop that out and you will be able to remove the tank. And the tank itself is going to be opaque, and that interlinks into your machine. This is something we see on the Roborock F25 as well as on the Tinico S6 stretch. And it's quite simple in terms of the overall design. The distance from your tank to the roller is shorter, so you're going to get better performance overall. And the dirty water is going to go into its dirty water tank right here. And this dirty water tank also has a catch and a handle. So you pop up the handle, and it comes with a catch inside. The thing about this catch is that there's going to be way more seals. So there's seals on the top and the bottom, and inside there's going to be quite a large screen. The largest screen we've seen yet on any of these wet dry vacs. So it's going to help effectively just make sure that the debris is not intermingling with the liquids. And when you just insert it back in, it's going to be quite a tight fit. So one of the key features on the MOVA M10 that a lot of people are not going to notice until they actually pick it up and use it is going to be the balance. Because if you're using any of these wet dry vacuums or any vacuum in general, remember balance matters because how easy is it to pick it up, how easy is it to maneuver is going to depend on the weight distribution between the bottom, the body, and the top. So what happens here is that this new type of design allows you to have better balance, similar to what you have with a Dyson. Because if you ever pick up a Dyson, it's going to have a similar structure to this, which means I can maneuver around easier around my home. It's going to make it less tiring to use. And that's the important thing. You want to get a wet dry vacuum that's going to be easy to use and less tiring, and that's going to do a job very quickly because you don't want your floors too wet and you don't want to make too many passes. And that's something the MOVA M10 does very well. And this is the balance. You can see the balance right here. As I pick it up, it's not that heavy to pick it up relative to other cordless vacuums or other vacuums in general. And that's because the weight distribution is running straight down the body. But the secret is, if you're using it because of the weight distribution, it really feels like you're just carrying something that's just 2 pounds. So it's going to be like using something very light, even though it's solid enough, and applying 20 N of pressure on your floor. That number is how much downward pressure is applying on your floor so that you don't have to press down on it yourself. So you're just getting better performance because of an updated motor and an updated design scheme from MOVA. Another non-obvious but very good upgrade that MOVA is giving us is that when you make this flat, there is going to be a feature here that doesn't let the water backflow. Because if you have your MOVA in the flat position, remember your water is normally flowing based on gravity. Here they have something called liquid locking so that the dirty water is not going to mingle with the clean water, and that's going to just allow it to have better performance as you use it on the floor. So for our mopping test, first we're going to try it out with some lentils here, and this is going to be to check how well it vacuums. Then we're going to use it with our oatmeal. Oatmeal, we're going to use half a cup of oatmeal, as you can see here. We're going to add some oat milk. We're going to spill it on our floors and see how well does the MOVA pick it up. And that's going to be our concoction for our mix here. So now let's spill our oatmeal here. And it's been about 30 minutes, so we want to spread this out. Let's see how well it picks up this large mess of oatmeal. And it picks it up without any issues, actually. And it kind of glides, which is very nice. It actually just glides on top and just picks everything up. So yeah, all the liquids are on the bottom, all the particles are on the top. So very nice here. So now we're gonna run a test, just turning it on and making it super flat. So we're gonna run it on the floor completely. And we're gonna see, can it pick everything up? So we have it on the floor. And it wants to move on its own. And voila, see, it works. Move it over. Bring it down to the floor here. So it's at 89. And we're gonna pick things up. And if you want to just see how good the swivel is, you can see how easy it is to maneuver. And it's very light, as you can see the balance is, you can move it around, easy to take around with you and drop it down. And
Smart mode.
we're going to put it ultra mode. Got a big stain here. The interesting thing is if you just stand it up, it will stop. But if you just release it again, it will turn back on. So let's go. Let's see how well this does. Again, it is doing a great job just picking everything up. We're also going to test the edge-to-edge capabilities here. So if I go inside, I can go straight against the wall and I can just pick everything up. So. The MOVA M10 also comes with dual rotation brush rolls. So what that means is that your brush roll here is going to be able to go forward and backwards. And you might not think that's a real big feature, but having the capability for your brush roll to go forward and backwards, especially in combination with that 167 Fahrenheit hot water cleaning and drying, that just means that this is going to get even cleaner better. Because if you think of your laundry machine doesn't just go in one direction, it goes back and forth. That's the same action you're getting here, but you can actually decide, do you want it to run on a 3-minute cleaning cycle or a 6-minute cleaning cycle going back and forth? That makes it so much better for your unit to clean itself than before. So your Mocha is going to be coming with 2 different self-clean options. You have one that's going to be 3 minutes and one that's going to be 6 minutes for deeper cleaning. How you toggle between them is going to be right here. Just want to turn your unit on, and once you see the charging, you can then press the self-clean button, and when you press it,
Start quick self-cleaning with hot water.
that's quick self-cleaning.
Start deep self-cleaning with hot water.
That's deep self-cleaning.
Self-cleaning function off. Start quick self-cleaning with hot water. Press Start deep self-cleaning with hot water.
And this is the roller that we picked up all that milk and debris on our floors as well as vacuumed. So what we want to know is that if it can actually clean itself, because right now it's wet, it's very wet, and how quickly can it dry itself. So it's going to go back and forth, and that's that different direction, and it's going to be using hot water here, so make sure not to touch it. And to illustrate how wet the brush is, here is a piece of paper towel here. I'm just showing you how wet it is. So this is how wet the brush is right now, and now it is starting its process. Let's see how it goes. It is using hot water, so it's heating that hot water up. We're going to touch it, and it is hot. It's getting hotter and hotter. It is not scalding yet, but it's definitely getting hotter and hotter. So we want to see how wet this brush actually is, and the brush is dry. So just about 10 minutes ago, it was as wet as this. And after cleaning it, as well as drying, it only took about 11 minutes total, which is quite impressive. So just to take it out and show you even in more depth, however, if you are using your unit on quick clean self-cleaning mode, it will actually take 3 minutes to clean its brush roll, but it will take 30 minutes to dry itself. So funny enough, if you want the quicker self-cleaning function, you gotta go deep clean. And you can see how warm it is still after removing our unit. So it is definitely hot air, and this is hotter than what you would traditionally get if you're using any self-drying session on a wet dry vacuum. Another key feature is that your MOVA comes with 18,000 pascals of suction. So if you have a low pill or medium pill carpet, even though this doesn't come with an aggressive brush roll similar to what you might find on a vacuum, because it's overwhelming suction power and because you can put this on suction mode, you will find this will be effective on low to medium pill carpet. On higher pill carpets, because the actual brushes are not long enough, you'll find that it's not going to be great for higher pill or carpet. But remember, your MOVA is really geared to be the best mop possible and a very functional vacuum. It's not going to be the best vacuum you ever had, but what that means is that it can actually be used on low to medium pill carpets, something a lot of wet dry vacuums are not able to do, and that's really because it comes with a lot of suction power. Here are the lentils. Let's see how well it picks everything up. And voila. So this is going to be our first test. We're going to see how well it picks everything up off our floor. These are green lentils here. Now this is going to be the menu, so we just want to turn it on.
Smart mode.
Smart mode, and then we want to put it in the suction mode.
Ultra mode.
Ultra mode.
Suction mode.
Suction mode. And it is able to pick everything up here. It's not adding any water because we are on suction mode. And you can see that it is identifying when we're hitting debris. And if we do it on somewhere clean, it's going to be green. But if I go to somewhere that has more material on it, it's going to be red. And then it goes, depending on what it's picking up. So in suction mode, you can see that it did not add water to our floor. It is still very dry. So finally, we're going to test out the detangling properties of the MOVA, because again, this is something new and we haven't really been able to test a lot of units that can also pick up long hair, especially in a wet dry vac. So we have some long hair here, and we're going to have it in the blue colorway just to make it easy for everyone to see. So with our MOVA, we want to see if the hairs are tangled inside, because those are long hair. So we're just going to pop out our roller here. There is no hair tangled, and that's because of the decombing action, detangling action inside of here. We're going to test, can it pick up these lentils and whatever else is on our entryway rug here. So we're going to turn it on.
Smart mode.
Put it on
Ultra
suction.
Mode. Suction mode.
And it's doing a pretty good job. And we'll just use it like you would regular life use it.
Powering off.
So ultimately, what's my verdict on the MOVA M10? I think it's a really good wet dry vacuum. It actually comes with a lot of the features we've always been wanting. First, it comes with a updated clean station that's going to be more durable. Also, it's going to be heated faster than before. So you get 167 degrees of hot air here. You're getting the water at 167 degrees, so you're getting better performance cleaning your brush roll. The brush roll goes back and forth. This has more suction power than before. It applies it better. The motor is quieter because it's an updated motor. The question is, can these next gen wet dry vacuums get even better? Because currently they already dry very fast. They're going to be able to self-clean very well. They're going to pick up majority of the messes on your floor. Now they're also becoming better vacuums, and they're going to be easier to clean with less odor. So everything most of us have really been looking forward to in a wet dry vacuum, now in this next generation wet dry vacs, are bringing it to the table. So then, do I recommend the MOVA M10? Yes, because it does all of the things we want. I think the only thing is, how much is it going to cost? Because this field itself is quite competitive. But in this space, I think the MOVA M10 is bringing a very good value proposition. They're going to give you a better overall constructed and easier to use wet dry vacuum. And that's the most important, because if you're not able to use your wet dry vacuum, if it feels too heavy, if it's hard to clean, then you're just not going to use it. And the MOVA M10 solves that for us. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and please hit that like or subscribe button. It really does help support our channel. And I'll catch you next time. This is Dave with the French Glow signing off. Bye, bye, bye.